I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not holding that story back, actually. No.
I think you've got to now.
What
I'm not
story?
cutting this out of the podcast, so everyone's going to want to hear this story now.
What story?
Right, are we ready?
I'm really going to try, mate. I really am. Like, 'cause I'm just going to fucking ruin it. I know.
If anything, we know that I'm the editor, so
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world.
No.
I don't think.
Well, when
But-
do you edit your stuff?
Huh?
Do you actually?
I actually do, yeah. Until we can make some money, please pay me. I'm fed up of editing everything.
Do you edit?
I do my own edits, not like everyone else. Ooh. Charlotte, Callum, great to have you on the show.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves and what it is that you do.
Go on, you crack first.
Cool. So we are C&C Imagery. We are together in life and in work.
Unfortunately.
Cute.
We've been going now.
Maybe not for much longer now.
Yeah, livid. We've been going now for, this is our third wedding season.
I think so, yeah. Third year.
Yeah.
Are you
It's
looking
just about
forward to it?
Yeah, we're off to a good start this year.
Yeah, we've already had one this year already. And then it kind of is like a slow kind of like ball until June, July, August. And then September it goes a bit nuts, which is
Yeah.
quite nice.
End of the year.
Yeah. But we've got a couple of destination kind of weddings this year as
Fancy.
well. which
Where are
we're
you
looking
off
forward
to?
Italy. But it's
I
Perugia, I think
I
it
hate
is
you
there.
guys so much. This is my 5th year and I've not. I
Uh,
keep getting offers for destinations, but I've either got a wedding or like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got
yeah.
a wedding the next day or something. But I had an offer for a wedding in Tennessee
Mhm.
last October, but I had a wedding the day of, which I was absolutely gutted about. It was a great wedding still, but the bride that getting married in Tennessee then proceeded to send me photos of where they were getting married.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're quite lucky as well. So we cover Kent, East Sussex, because even though we're together, we don't technically live together yet.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So we're able to cover Kent, we cover East Sussex, and I'm originally from North Devon.
Okay.
So we go back to North Devon and we also cover North Devon as a region as well.
But you guys get around.
Yeah, but there are some
Well, your parents lived there, don't they?
there are, and there's some beautiful venues down in
Yeah.
North Devon, like Tunnels, Watermouth Cove, Sandy Cove. Where else that we work? Torstock.
Yeah.
They're just great because they're just cliff. It's the Jurassic Cove.
Yeah.
So the venues down there are insane. So if you can ever work down there, highly recommend
Yeah.
trying to get gigs down there.
So as long as I've got a day either side, at least,
Yeah.
you know, so you can get there and back, and not have to like feel stressed that you've
Oh,
got
for
to get
sure.
there.
I know, we always use those for like little holidays, don't we?
Yeah.
Down in Devon.
And I think couples also forget that, like, even though we're based in certain areas, I think vendors are always more than happy to travel. And
Yeah.
I think even with travel and accommodation, I think some people think that it's going to cost them almost as much as the supplier itself.
Yeah.
And actually, when you break it down and when you send it to them, I think they're actually quite pleasantly surprised that it doesn't
Yeah.
cost as much as what they were thinking.
But I don't think everyone works that same way, right?
No, I know.
I know a few people that charge a day rate for each day they're away,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah.
Especially if you can make a little family like we've done a bit further away, and we'll make a little family holiday out of it, which is
Yeah, and
It's
it's
always
nice.
nice.
It's nice to. I mean, we love it when we go down to Devon. I mean, we've got 4 or 5 this year down to Devon,
Yeah, we have, yeah.
and it's an excuse to see my parents.
yeah.
We haven't got some, but next year, for
Yeah, next year as well.
Devon as well.
And they're nice as well because they're 3-day. A lot of the venues down in North Devon are 3-day higher venues.
Yeah, I've heard that coming in a bit more now as well, because there's a few round here in
Yeah.
Kent.
So they're 3-day higher venues. The biggest, Watermouth Cove is a
Watermouth, yeah.
Yeah.
3-day higher. So
Yeah.
you go on the Friday and then leave on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And they normally make it a 3-day thing. So on the Friday they'll do like you would in a destination wedding. So you'll do
Like a
pizza,
family day.
pizza evenings, pool parties, and the wedding on the Saturday, and then the Sunday it would be a nice chilled day, either kayaking around the bay or it's really, really lovely
Yeah,
venues.
they're like little camps, like little
Yeah.
campsites.
Very sort of an American sort of style wedding that as well.
Yeah, and we're quite a relaxed couple when we're like as photographers anyway. So
Yeah.
even if we're booked for the Saturday, we'd still pop down on the Friday, say hey, and then
I
on
think
the
it's
Sunday,
it's beneficial for you guys as well, right? Because then
Yeah.
you know
yeah,
The last
you know
one,
half the
the-
people that are going to be there. They know you,
yeah, of
and then it comes the
course.
wedding day, and it's just chill.
Of course, and then quite a few times after the wedding, if it's been like a 3-day thing, we'll pop down the day after, or we've been invited to like their pizza evening,
Yeah.
or their drinks evening, or their leaving drinks, or things like that. So it's quite nice.
It was a lot more personable, right?
think
Not
so.
just hired hands that are
think so.
there to capture the day.
And I think that's
And
important.
that's what we like to make sure we're doing, isn't it? Is what's the word I'm trying to look for?
We don't know.
Good.
Good.
Like we're trying to be like part of that day, aren't we? Like we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
We're
though
not just. Go on.
even though we're very like the way that we kind of capture is very documentary and candid kind of style, we're not the flies on the wall.
No.
We wouldn't say that we stick to a wall.
Such a weird way of shooting, right? I think
Yeah.
it's so creepy. If you go into a bridal prep room and you don't say a word, just get out.
Yeah, but
That's why I look in the bushes and take
Yeah.
photographs from the bushes.
yeah, that's where you tend to live.
They're on weddings you're not even paid at.
That's where you tend to live. But yeah, we like to get involved with our guests. We like to get to know our couples. I mean, Callum, you tend to spend a lot of your time with the grooms and all the guys and the lads.
Yeah. I couldn't
And
think of anything worse than being in bridal prep. I really couldn't. I really couldn't.
See,
One day
It's so loud
I'm a
and it's
chameleon, me.
manic.
Like, I love it in with the girls. Like with the boys, you're only there for a few minutes, but with the
Okay,
girls,
they get the best breakfast, don't they? Like,
Yeah.
but they have got a good. They have the best morning, but
it's
it's
great. I
just
get
too manic for me.
fed.
yeah.
I get fed.
Just too
I
manic.
get watered.
When they've got a good soundtrack as well,
Yes.
it's a vibe.
It's usually
Yes.
drum and bass.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. I did a wedding a couple of years ago, and they had the most depressing soundtrack,
Really?
and like half of it was breakup songs.
Stop.
Just like I'm sitting listening, going, I've heard this song a million times. But you know, when you're in that, you're now in an environment of love, and you're
Love.
hearing
Yeah.
about breaking up and
Yeah, the last wedding we did, the first wedding we did this year, and our last wedding that we did was the upstairs where all of the girls were getting ready and the bride and the bridesmaids had drum and bass.
yeah.
Downstairs, groom, love songs, really,
Cute.
intimate, emotional music.
Yeah.
The girls were just upstairs like having like a mad
Yeah.
one in the morning.
Yeah.
One of my last at the Gardens last year, they had, I believe it was like 12 bridesmaids, which was
12.
just pure insanity. And them just like having a great time just outweighed the music. Like you couldn't even hear the music.
Yeah.
Did they have that new room in there?
Yeah,
They had that up there.
Yeah.
That's good. 'Cause I can't imagine.
in that small room opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, one of my first wedding at the Gardens was in there, and they had a big crew, which was tight. Yeah. How did you two meet anyway?
Do you like to answer this?
Tell us about your love story.
Yeah. So I was in lockdown.
Okay.
Classic.
Tinder
Yeah.
or Hinge?
It was Hinge.
Ah.
It was.
I never had much luck on Hinge.
I can see
I
why.
Yeah.
didn't.
Cheers, mate. Neither did you.
No, I didn't have any luck on Hinge.
You did.
No, you didn't.
All right, go on then. Tell me the Hinge story.
What was your opening line?
That I can't actually remember. Like,
Oh, I do.
no,
Go
I
on.
think
Yes, it was. No, you sent me a photo and you said, do you want to see a photo of my dog?"
Is that what it
That's
was?
literally.
That is
that's
the
all you said.
ultimate.
Do you want
the
to see a
ultimate.
photo of my dog?
Yeah.
And that's how you got my number.
Was it actually your dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
At the time it was. Yeah.
It was. And you just and there was,
Just
but there was
stole it from
nothing.
the street.
But there was. There was like I sent my number over. And there was no like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, it was really nice to meet you. Or no, like,
See my dog.
no, it was literally just a photo of the dog.
It was just autocorrect.
Yeah, he literally just sent a photo of the dog. There was no like,
You know the worst part about this? I actually spent money on that premium,
You
didn't I?
did,
I got
yeah.
Hinge premium.
he actually paid for it. He paid for Hinge.
I thought, what? there's nothing to do in lockdown except from talk to people. So
in the
that's-
ultimate time when no one's earning money.
Yeah,
you thought,
spend
spend
50
money.
quid a month on Hinge.
50 quid a month.
I don't know what
No,
it was.
it wasn't. It was,
It was
I
like
think,
40.
no, it was 30. No, because we joked and laughed because it was £36 for the whole year, and then you forgot.
Oh yeah, I
to-
forgot to cancel it.
Oh no!
I forgot to cancel it, and then it came out. I was like, why have I got?
Can imagine that causing a
Like,
domestic.
No, we actually didn't. No, we just laughed,
I just laughed and said I cost him £72.
and that's what I got.
Yeah, and how much since?
I've been trying to get my money back.
Yeah. But our first
Can't
date,
return you though, can we?
no,
No, and we won't.
no. But our first date was okay.
Yeah.
It's a good reaction. What's the first
No,
date story?
I thought I'd do the gentleman thing and come up this way because
Yeah.
obviously I'm down in Eastbourne.
And it was lockdown, so it was, the whole you can't go into
Six-
people's
Can't meet new
yeah.
people, all of that crap, right? So I thought I'll come up this way. So drove up, went for a little walk round a little place called Footscray Meadows.
I know Footscray. Yeah, I used to work security down at Footscray.
They have security down there.
They did. I don't know if they do anymore.
No,
Oh.
definitely.
Yeah, and then we were walking around, and this was such an awkward moment. Like it throughout that whole entire walk, is I could hear a woodpecker in the background, right?
Okay.
And me with my brain could hear this woodpecker, and I was like, "Oh, can you hear that?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "That woodpecker." Like you can just hear it going. She's like, "No." I'm like, "No, really, listen for it." So I then decided to pull out my phone, get on YouTube like woodpecker sounds and what they look like.
And like a whole animal documentary on
And you
woodpeckers.
stuck around.
No, I
No,
walked
she walked
off.
off. So now here I am, just like, no,
Chasing her, going, look at this. Look at my woodpecker.
I just walked
Look at my
off.
pecker.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hinge. Yeah, they were good
And-
times though.
They were.
They were.
And we're still together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still together.
I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not holding that story back. Actually, no.
I think you've got to now.
What
I'm not
story?
cutting this out of the podcast,
This-
so everyone's going to want to hear this story now.
What story?
The egg.
Oh,
It
the
depends whether you want that going out. That's no,
Yeah.
well, not like a little vibrating egg or anything like that. It wasn't that. No, we're talking about like the little mini eggs.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Oh, you're happy?
No, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we'll
It's
put it
all right.
out there.
All right, okay. So we're laying in bed. It's,
Netflix and chill. kind of
Netflix and
vibes.
chill. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
say that.
You said you
And-
weren't that kind of egg.
It wasn't.
Not this. story.
It wasn't. And we were eating mini eggs. Anyway, the next minute, Charlotte's rolled over to go, I think you're getting a drink or something. Just rolled over. And then she's like turned to roll over. I looked down and I was like, what is that? What is that?
You
I
laying
thought she'd shit herself. I thought she'd shit herself.
I was lying in the
She was,
mini.
she was sat on this mini egg, and you had all the dark
Yeah.
chocolate up your ass crack.
So our third date in, Callum was
Wiping
wiping
her
my
ass.
ass.
That's how all good love stories start, right?
Oh yes.
A payment on Hinge and a mini egg shit.
Yeah. It was great, wasn't it? It was good.
So at what point did you think, right, I'm going to start taking photos at weddings with this man? Second mini egg incident.
God. So I was a photographer. Well, I still am a photographer. I do headshots and fashion in London. That's
Yeah.
kind of my day job. And for me, photography was always an escapism. It was always that something extra I could do when I was feeling down or when mentally life got a bit challenging or I just wanted to shut off, like a meditation.
Yeah.
And that's how I started headshots from when I was performing. So I was a performer and I moved into headshots that way. And then I saw how Callum really enjoyed photography.
Mm.
And it was never a case of I taught him anything. I just gave him cameras and went, there you go,
Yeah.
have fun. Work out on your own, because I think it's important that you're not shown styles, because then you can't create your own style. You
Yeah.
just mimic then. Whereas I wanted Callum to just have fun with the camera and just see what comes about. You might love it, you might hate it, but you might decide that you find something really interesting. And you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I started taking photos of like little frogs in your drain outside, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
I was like, oh, this is fun. But no, then I moved over to pet photography.
Yeah.
So ended up started doing that because you pretty much gave me everything.
Yeah, he was very fucking lucky.
Payment on Hinge finally
Starts
comes
out,
back.
starts out with nearly 10 grand's worth of equipment. Just,
Yeah,
there you go.
just for 72 quid.
Yeah. Yeah, you gave me everything, and I just set up like a little studio basically, and now I just do like the little pet stuff on the side, and just got used to learning the camera, if that makes sense, didn't we? And then we just sat there and thought, well, it was mainly you, wasn't it, that pushed?
Always mainly me.
But you sort of questioned the idea about weddings, and I can't really remember how that even came about or why we thought it would be a good idea.
I think it's because
Money.
yeah,
Good
money.
money.
It is good money. It is good
Not
money.
only
We
that,
can't deny.
I think it's because we both saw that we both had a passion for photography, and we just kind of said to ourselves, what can we do
It's finding avenues through photography, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I started out doing photography, started out taking photos of my dog, and then it was like fitness stuff, and then landscape stuff is what I loved.
Yeah.
I did my first wedding with photo and I hated it. So ironically, I'm here now doing videos, which I love.
Yeah.
But landscape photography was like what I like to do. So you got to play around with it all.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, and that's kind of where we were at with it, and we just kind of said, well, I vowed that I would never do weddings.
Ironic.
Yeah. I had a couple of bad experiences very early on with weddings, so I vowed that I'd never do them. It's not something I wanted to do. And then obviously Callum came along, and then we had kind of just some brainstorming ideas, and we went, shall we, even if we just put it out into the universe and see what happens, what's the harm?
Yeah.
And we'll just see what happens. And within
we're both people.
yeah,
What? People.
yeah, people.
Yeah.
People.
So it's going to work anyway. And being in our other jobs as well, because we're self-employed anyway. So that was always going to work.
Yeah.
Work easy. Rather, if we were in, if one of us was employed,
Like 9 to 5 is...
this will be just probably non-existent. So it's the fact that because we're self-employed,
Yeah,
in
of
our
course,
other
it's given
jobs,
us
it works
given us
as well.
flexibility anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
A lot of freedom.
But yeah, when I first started, I mean, I think I did like an ADHD like hyperfixation, and I just went like balls to the wall and just went, "Do you know what, fuck it.
You just get lucky after 10 minutes that you're still enjoying it and want to carry on.
Yeah. And fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And then before I knew it, I was creating the website, I was doing emails, I was doing admin, I was looking at different logos.
I was playing Xbox.
Yeah, he was playing Xbox.
Different flavour ADHD.
Yeah. And we had, I think within the first 3 months of me creating styled shoots and previous drawing photos from previous weddings that I had second shot at, or weddings that I'd done, and creating a website, before the website even went live, I think we had 5 or 6 bookings.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I remember that.
Before even the website went live, which I thought was mental.
Great incentive to carry on.
Yeah, because then you think, well, fuck, okay, well, maybe there is something here.
Yeah.
So we just carried on, and I think before we even started shooting our first weddings, we were very transparent with the couples, very transparent with them. And before we started even doing weddings in our first year, I think we had 13 or 14 for our first year.
Yeah.
Without any form of advertisement.
Let's class that in it.
Other than the odd Facebook post.
Yeah.
So we didn't pay for, I mean, we still haven't paid for any advertising. We should probably look into that, because apparently it's quite good. But
I don't know. I've not even really.
I feel like it's
Not in the right way anyway. I know there's
I'd
good
love
ways
to,
of doing
I'd love
it.
to hear people that do really pay for people that do really pay for advertising and really do put a lot of money back into the business.
Maybe worth having someone on the show who does something like that, and
Yeah.
not someone who just claims to do it and then Takes money off people.
Maybe. So yeah, that's kind of how we started.
Yeah.
And then it's just never stopped.
And what's it like working together? I mean, I've worked with you guys, and I don't know how you do it all the time. It's great fun.
So what?
It's great fun twice a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we like? What's the question? Do we like working together?
What's it like working
What's it
together?
like? I think it's fun. I think it's fun. We're very. I'd actually say we probably work.
Is it a colleague sort of relationship at work, or is it still like
Kind of.
relationship?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. If we sort of come out of like a relationship, sort of don't ish
Yeah, we have our
I can bollock
moments
you.
of
Yeah.
in a work manner, like, and
Yeah.
you can bollock me in a work manner, like.
yeah,
But
we
then you
still
get home
say
and you're like,
Yeah, then we get home.
It's
It's
chill.
fine. Yeah.
but we still say us. Like
Yeah,
With our
I think that's
we still
important
say
because that's
Our
what
personality
people
don't change.
hire you, right?
Yeah.
Because they know that you're a couple,
for sure. And
and there's
I think that's something that a lot of our couples have said that they've loved is the
Yeah.
fact that you guys are a real couple, and it's so rare that you get photographer couples either that are husband and wife.
Well,
or
usually it's like one does
duos.
photo, one does video.
Right, or you get a main photographer and a second shooter which you'll
Yeah.
employ, and you might have 1, 2, 3 of them that you use. Whereas Callum and I, there is no second, there is
Yeah.
no first. It's just kind of this is Callum's, this is what he does, this is
Yeah.
what I do, and we kind of mash together, which is really nice.
It's good having that, like, where you've got all bases covered then.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about grooms, you don't have to worry about
No.
brides, you don't have to worry about the back end of the ceremony, you don't have to worry about the front.
Yeah,
It's
and I
just-
think sometimes we'll switch. We've already said about, let's do a little bit of a switch.
Yeah, we're talking about it because we've just got down into such a routine now where it's just I know where you're going, I know where I'm going to be. We'll still scout, like we said earlier on. We'll still scout the venue. We'll
Yeah.
still go and have a look, but we know the sort of drill. You're up there
Yeah.
with bride and groom. I'm either in a bush with my Zoom lens on,
Or laying down in the aisle.
or laying down in the eye. You said
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
what-
haven't you?
Oh, I can't believe you did that. I spoke to the groom and he said, "Yeah, I was trying not to laugh whilst I was saying my vows."
Absolute spread eagle in the
And
eye.
he found it hilarious, and we put it on our stories on social media. Like, would you actually want to see something like this in your album? Everyone said yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They were like, why
I
would you
think
not?
stuff like that as well. Like if like capturing
I think
the stuff in the background. Like,
if you've made an impact on the couple in the day,
Yeah.
I think absolutely. Whereas if because there are companies out there that, as we said earlier, they just show up, shoot, go.
Yeah.
I think it's different if someone like that is in the background doing something like that because
For sure.
you've not built a bond.
No.
Whereas
And I think that is so important
Yeah.
on your wedding day. And that is purely the way that Callum and I like working. Is yes, we're professional, and yes, it's a serious day,
but we're very informal.
but it's fun day.
Yeah.
Like your suppliers, people that are with you, should be the same.
Yeah.
It should be an occasion
Yeah.
where you're celebrating, not feel pressured to, I haven't spoken to the photographer yet, I don't know who they are. You want to be able to shout their name and be like, "Oi, get over here.
Yeah.
Like, come
I
do
think
this." Or
people there are a lot of companies that out there that need to remember that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of very corporate sort of photographers and they bring that into a wedding day and that just adds stress, man. Like, I think I always say, like, the work's serious, but I ain't.
no.
So, I mean,
exactly.
we'll have a laugh, we'll have fun, we'll goof off. After prep, you know the bride, you know the groom, so you know what you can get away with.
Exactly, but then, like, I personally think that the images and the video, like the videography, it's so much better
Yeah.
when they're so much more relaxed, because you get that question
I
a
think
lot.
what
of the
you've
time.
done with that shot is you've given them another memory.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I mean, it is funny that it is through their vows as well.
Yeah,
I just think that's so hilarious.
he was trying not to laugh, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was.
Because for the rest of their life now, they're going to be talking about their vows to their children, grandchildren. They're going, and the photographer
Was
is
laughing.
sat like that.
Trying to get the
All
shot.
wearing a kilt.
All the ways you could have taken that photo. Conventional, you could have just.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could have just gone down like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but no.
But we've
Laying
had
down,
couples,
shins out, the whole
Yeah.
lot.
we've had couples where, like, I mean, you don't have the iconic veil shot.
Yeah.
And some of the couples, they, you know, if it's a beautiful venue, they want that iconic, like, throw the veil, and they think it's wind. And we have to explain to them, actually, it's not wind.
It's us.
It's someone lifting it and then running away very briefly and quickly.
So I try and figure out how far I've got to run first, because I don't want to run any more than I've got to.
Not before
One
food.
step out.
Not before food.
Or after.
Yeah.
But yeah, the couple,
They wanted that shot, the original shot.
The original shot.
me in it.
With Callum in the photo.
Just like this.
So they didn't even want the iconic veil shot with Callum edited out. They wanted him kept in the photo because they just thought
I find some of the funniest moments in that, because it's either a maid of honor or a bridesmaid or something that does it, or the photographer or videographer you trade. And like we're this sort of similar, so I make stupid jokes as I run off, and it just adds another moment. Like I remember there was a video of a bridesmaid doing it, but she couldn't run off fast enough. And she's like in a dress. I think she's Scottish as well. So
Brilliant.
yeah, it's just finding all those funny moments in those awkward moments as well.
Yeah.
I think that's go on.
Just saying, I just think it's just so important that your suppliers should just be having fun.
Exactly. Otherwise, what I say, if you're not having fun, I'm not having fun.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then that will reflect in the work.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not having fun,
Yeah.
yeah, the work's definitely
Yeah.
gonna show on that.
Yeah.
That's why I like the face-to-face meets, like Zoom or wedding fairs. That's why I still do wedding fairs. Just because then you can get a feel for couples.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like there are couples that I know are not my cup of tea, and I'm probably not theirs.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get the best out of each other. Because if you're not open to having people like us at the wedding, where we're a bit louder, we're a bit extroverted, and we're trying to get that out of you, then you're just going to feel awkward. So
yeah,
I think that is very important, getting to know the people that are coming to your wedding.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
But who's the boss behind the camera?
You can put that smile away.
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
Behind the camera or the admin? Because
Both.
I'd say
Both.
I'd say, yeah, you still.
Both.
you just want me to
Do
get
you
my
even
little
know how many
cupcakes and just
weddings
sit
have
there.
Do you know how many weddings we've got this year?
Yeah.
Where's our next one?
That's easy.
What date is our wedding? What date is the wedding?
Huh?
What date is the wedding?
You're breaking up on here.
Yeah.
That would have worked if we had the headphones on.
I could tell. Oh, yeah, shit. May.
No.
End of this month, April.
June.
Yeah.
Forgot we were in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in April.
Yeah.
And it's the 28th of April.
No.
Told you not. When is it? And where is it?
I'll let you know after the podcast.
Just for that bride and groom watching, he will be there. She will drag him.
No, definitely Charlotte. Charlotte does, I would say, 20% of the work. You are. And I do the 80.
I think because of my theatrical performing background, I just naturally transitioned into being a little bit bossier behind the camera. Whereas Callum, I think sometimes you are still a little bit more introverted behind the camera.
Yeah, I'm like the most introverted extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm just extrovert.
So yeah, I'm extrovert all the time.
Yeah, I've got a big boy voice. I just don't need to use it when I've got Charlotte around. Like I can put my big boy pants on and do it.
But
I'm
it
fine
works.
doing it.
It works.
It's definitely easier having someone that is able to take that control and get everything done. So, I mean, as much as I'm gonna hear the end of this, but Shanice is great for that as well. My partner, even though she's not a second for me or whatever. She's great at getting me to get done what I need to get done.
Yeah,
chill out when I need to chill out.
Princess.
That drives.
Yeah, that drives me. Oh,
That drives
he will. He will drive us to venues.
Yeah.
Callum will be the driver.
And without the driver, where will we be?
Exactly that. I drove us back right from Exeter, didn't I?
You
Straight
did.
after a wedding at 10:30, quarter to 11. No, it was 11 o'clock, I think it was, wasn't it? We finished the wedding at 11 o'clock and I went, fuck this, let's just go back. Because the hotel we were staying in, but
It looked like an asylum.
it did, yeah. Oh, it was bad. Like,
Really bad.
I did a wedding in Peak District with a photographer. She was from Wales, and we obviously never met before, and we got along really, really well on the day. And she was saying about how bad her hotel was, and to the point where she brought all her stuff with her to the wedding, and she was just going to drive straight home after.
That's what we did.
And unfortunately, we didn't have like a spare room or anything where we were staying. Otherwise, we could have just brought her back to us. But yeah, it's a shame that you got to feel that way, like drive, because it's a long day, innit?
Yeah.
They are long days.
Yeah, especially when obviously like they're booking you for the full day,
Yeah.
and it's 9 o'clock start, and you're normally finishing 9, half 9. They're long days.
Thankfully, they're fun though, right?
Yeah, but again, I think, and I think it's different for you because obviously you're always going to be working with a photographer. Like
Yeah.
99% of the time at a wedding, you'll
Yeah.
always have, if you have a
100% so far.
videographer, you will
Although I
always
have
have
got
one.
one coming up this year where there's no photographer.
Really?
Yeah.
What,
Which one?
just video?
Just video.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Interesting.
really intrigued by it.
Okay.
Might be a family member though. Might be a family member just capturing the
That's
day.
fine, because I mean, I've
So I'm doing a
done
wedding.
weddings before with photographers that are like family friends or
Yeah.
boss or whatever. That they're hobbyists,
Yeah.
which is great if they're doing it for
Yeah.
cheap or free.
But
or
do you
whatever.
find that on those days, not that energy is less for you, but there's no one to bounce
It's
off?
awkward? It's a little bit awkward because if you're a hobbyist of like car photography,
Yeah.
you're not talking to anyone really, or you're just talking about cars. Whereas if you then come bring that to a wedding, because they're stuck in that route of like shooting cars or shooting babies or shooting like, so they're
Wait,
shooting in
shooting
I
babies.
don't know. Cake smash and stuff like that. I don't know.
You must have been so
I was holding that. I was like, hold on, no, fuck, I'm going in now. Cool, so we're shooting babies.
He said it's stupid. But yeah, I think they can be very awkward because they don't know how the wedding works on our side of things.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't know how to shoot babies properly. So. Someone's gonna
That's
clip
45
that in
mil,
there.
mate, it'll be
Someone's gonna clip that. Joe Main shoots babies. I've just full named myself now. So, do you ever argue at work creatively,
Yes.
or is it like you're able to read each other now doing the job? You answered
I like the
yes.
fact we both
Oh,
just
yes, very quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Creatively, no.
I don't even know what you mean by that.
No, creatively, we don't argue. I think we're very much on the same wavelength creatively. Or sometimes I'll see you wanting to do something and I won't understand what it is.
Yeah, and then I've got to really like dumb it down.
Yeah.
But I think
Right.
I think that is like a lot because my brain works the same. Like I'll know exactly what I want to do,
Yeah.
but trying to explain it
Yeah.
is so difficult until you're able to show it.
Yeah.
And then it's either great or mid, and you're like, you don't use it, but
Yeah. But creatively, no, we don't argue. Sometimes I like to flap. I'm a flapper.
Oh, it's fucking irritating. It really is. Like
I'll
did
have
you
a
do?
panic moment. Oh, I thought I broke my camera
Oh,
last wedding.
God.
Thought I
Really?
broke one of my cameras. Yeah, the lens wasn't going onto the camera and it wasn't registering it.
But she does this weird thing, like your mind will just
It goes into meltdown.
Yeah.
explode, and then
there's a million and one things going on.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Oh, the singing waiters were on as well. So
Yeah.
and you're at the helm of like
Yeah.
this ship.
and that's why we got two.
Yeah,
technically multiple. I had my other camera. I could
Yeah.
have, you know.
yeah.
But
So
But you don't think about that in the moment, do you? I mean, I run 4 cameras on the day, and I upgraded my main camera to like a very high quality camera last year. But now I'm like, if that goes down, I can still use the others.
yeah.
But if that goes down, I'm in full panic mode that that's gone down.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't really like argue. There'll be certain things where we'll argue over, and it'll be of location of where we want to go.
Yeah.
That'll be the main thing I think we argue over.
well,
But other than that, I'm quite.
Has there ever been a moment where you're like, I don't want to do this with him anymore or with her anymore?
oh yeah, I think I'm trying to think. There has been one.
You
There
said
has-
that so quickly, and then went, there's got to be one.
No, she told me this earlier. There was one. We actually had a little bit of an epi at each other, and I can't remember. I want to say it was down in Devon. I'm not gonna.
I'm intrigued.
I'm not gonna be able. I'll have a think.
It
about
should be
it.
something
I'm
he ain't
intrigued.
voiced to you
Yeah.
now. And now it's a whole new issue.
Sorry, what?
If it comes to mind, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up in a bit.
It'll be
It's
Oh,
already,
on
it's
the way
already
home.
it is
Oh,
one
yeah,
of
the
it. Just
car
don't
on
want
the
to bring
way
it
How
up
do
now.
I word it?
We'll move on for your sake, Callum.
yeah.
What was your first wedding like? Together.
First wedding, that was Crown Lodge over in Kent.
Love
wasn't it?
Crown Lodge.
Everyone
What
was
view?
doing it.
And we
What
haven't
view?
been back either.
You know,
No, I know.
I'm back there in a couple of months, I think.
Yeah, lovely sunsets there, mate. Straight over that valley, don't you? Straight
Yeah,
down. No.
beautiful.
And the
They had an awesome thing, wasn't it? It was Costa Rican thing because they do a lot of travelling. So
Yeah.
all the colours, wasn't it? It was like reds, blues, yellows, look really vibrant, like colours.
How did you feel though about your first wedding, Callum?
Yeah.
It's my experience of it was a lot different to Callum's.
Yeah, I was nervous. I was very nervous, like shaky nervous.
Yeah.
Like, but again, because I think that first year we got really lucky with the couples that had picked us. That didn't we?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all the couples that we had that first year.
I mean,
we couldn't
all
have
of
asked
our
for
years we've
any
been really
better
lucky.
couples.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean is like for like, as
like-
as we're starting.
Oh, for sure. Like in terms of like diversity,
Yeah.
variety.
Yeah, we just had a real good like
Openness
start, if
as
that makes
well.
sense. So definitely helped like ease him into it. But yeah, I was nervous, really nervous.
I think it's just
You know what
severe
to do. Literally didn't know what to do.
It's imposter syndrome, isn't it?
And I'm
walk around with a
5
camera.
years in and I've still got it.
Yeah.
Even like starting this podcast, I'm like,
Yeah, who
people
are
ain't,
you?
people ain't gonna watch this episode, and then it's doing well. So
Yeah.
it's
It is, it's imposter syndrome.
I don't think you can ever get over that.
No.
No.
But yeah, no, it was fine. But I think with the first wedding that we did, I remember because I went over to do bridal prep and left Callum at the venue on its own.
First wedding as well.
First wedding, so we just got there and went,
like-
right, okay, see you at the ceremony.
Just chuck you in.
Yeah. But
That's all
I've
good.
always been taught to just be chucked in at the deep
Yeah.
end. You don't learn unless you just chucked in and you have to learn to swim that way.
A little bit of a guidance would have been all right.
Yeah, Callum likes to know exactly what he's doing it, when he's doing it.
Tism.
You like to learn the ins and outs of something before you fully
I know
commit to it.
I know working a
Oh,
camera
yeah.
around more than you do. don't you? You've been
been
doing
a
this
photographer nearly
7, 8
10
years?
years?
Oh, 10 years.
10 years now. And Callum's taught me more about my camera than I knew myself.
You're the one that like reads the manual and
Yeah.
goes through every single setting.
No.
Yeah.
no, I just use my common sense.
I bought a mirrorless because it did autofocus.
And she didn't know how to get the eye tracking off either.
I didn't
Why
realise
she
there was
went,
a
"Oh."
button at the top to let you know how many like images your SD card can hold.
Right.
I didn't know that number at the top meant that's how many images you got left.
You know, they've done that since film cameras as well.
I was just playing a game of Russian roulette.
Come ceremony, go, why ain't it doing anymore? Still making the noise, but
Why does it say E?
Yeah.
Funny.
But no, our first wedding, it was fun.
Yeah.
And we had some really cool moments, like with the sunset that we had.
Golden hour. That was
Golden
perfect.
hour.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't have asked for a better
What a way
like,
to
first
kick it
wedding.
off, right?
Yeah.
I think literally the I want to say like the first 5 or 6 weddings we had perfect golden hour for every single one.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even not cloud in some of the skies.
And again, we were really lucky with that first wedding that we did. Lucky, or just the fact that we were, I think, again, because we work together and we work well together, like we both edit separately as well. We
Yeah.
don't sit together and edit, we edit at home.
Oh,
So
fuck
there's,
yeah. No, I couldn't sit with you and edit. That'd be. I work with you and then I sometimes stay over at night, but working next to you will be a fucking killer.
people are going to be concerned to book you after this
Yeah.
now, whether you're still together.
yeah,
If Charlotte
Yeah.
just shows up at your
So
wedding.
did they break up after?
because everything just kind of works. Like we were so lucky with that first wedding. Like Crown Lodge still use our images
Yeah.
from 2.5 years ago. They still post the images that we shot for our first ever wedding, and we've had weddings being booked off of the back of those images,
Yeah.
which is mental when it's the first one you kind of do together. It was obviously not the first time
Yeah.
I've taken photos at a wedding or but the ones that we've first done together,
Yeah.
Well, if I put my first wedding out now, no one would book me again.
Where was your first one?
I'd love
Hayne
to
House.
see it.
It was Hayne House.
Hayne House. I've got it on my phone. I'll show you it.
How many years ago was that?
That was pre-COVID actually. So
Okay.
it's it was one of my first things I've filmed. Like I filmed bits of myself, like on my own travels and stuff. And it was my mum's friend, and it's not bad video considering what I had to film on. I borrowed one of my friend's cameras and tripods to get the ceremony. It's not bad considering it was my first job, but comparing it to like my latest wedding, it's like, ugh.
It's weird. It is funny looking back on like how your style changes.
It's great seeing
so
how far
quickly.
you've come as well.
As well.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
From having like quite flat looking images to everything's got a lot more depth and yeah.
You sort of hone your craft as you go along.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you pick up little tips and tricks along the way. Because again, when something's a bit more candid in style and not posed, I think couples still forget that you still have to tweak things slightly or give prompts a little bit to be able to capture those moments seamlessly.
Yeah.
Which we've now been able to pick up on throughout the weddings that we've done of what works, what doesn't work, or getting a vibe of a couple and going, okay, well, this particular couple, it's not going to be the same formula we used for the last. It's got to be a new tactic to kind of get everyone going or to get the images.
I said it recently. You've got to be able to know very different people, because as similar as weddings are, like the structure of a wedding is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But every couple is totally different.
Exactly.
You might have someone who's a bit shy or someone who's a bit too out there, and you've got to like learn how to bring this one down a little bit and this one up.
Exactly.
But by letting them be themselves as well.
Exactly. And if you're flies on the wall, how are you going to do that?
Well, you ain't, are you?
Do you know what I mean? Like if that is your style and that's you, and you're not very extroverted, and you don't, today for you it is literally just work for the day.
I think I got very lucky, and like the photographer I worked with on my first wedding he's now one of my very good friends, Steve Barber, and he works in a very similar way to us. He's very out there and very extrovert and gets exactly what he needs to get whilst letting the couple be themselves.
Exactly.
So being able to sort of like see that firsthand straight away, and then my first year back, like I think I only did 9 weddings, but I think 5 or 6 of them were with Steve. So you could sort of know that it's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
But then you do see some photographers that are like, they do take a step back, and then they see you come in and I'm a bit louder compared to like some other videographers. Well,
But we've started. We thought about it this year, and we wanted to change the way that we branded ourselves. Because again, I've done my research.
You read about cameras.
Yeah, I've done my research, and I've researched a lot of photographers in Kent, East Sussex, and who's doing well and who they are, and
but that you like that sort of stuff.
I do.
You find that interesting. I
do.
Anything worse than doing that.
Again, I hyperfixate on it, and once I'm there, I'm doing it.
Just so good at it.
But I've noticed that a lot of the companies and a lot of the photographers that are out there are fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like, not just like their Instagram, it's just there's no personality. There's no, yes, their work is great, but for me, like if I was booking like a photographer for my wedding, I'd want personality. I'd want to be able to relate to that person and go, that person is a human. Like I want to work with that person.
It's so difficult, isn't it? Because like you think about it and you're like, I would want someone like me.
Yeah.
But then it is so difficult finding that.
Yeah.
Because the amount of photographers that I've spoken to, and they're like, you're quite out there for a videographer. A lot of videographers just stay in the back, and
sit back,
especially through like couple shoots, and they just let the photographers do their thing and then they shoot around. But I'm not like that, like I know if I did that, it wouldn't reflect in the videos.
Exactly.
It's just I'm then filming someone else's work, which is
exactly
silly.
And we've started to show a little bit more of ourselves, like on our Instagrams now. It'd be a little bit more personal, like on the TikToks. So
any directors' view videos going out yet?
Do you know what? It's funny because we were talking about this the other day. I was saying that I need to do more. Sorry, I need to do more of those direct reviews. Don't I? Walking around.
They absolutely cracked me up.
What was it? The ants, wasn't it? Was
It was whatever
in
one you
Greece?
had where your glasses were a bit.
Oh yeah, that was in
Pissed
Greece.
and-
Yeah. I'm just like crouched down, like looking at these ants. I'm like,
For anyone interested, I'm going to get Callum to send me the video and I'll put it up on the Wedding Playbook Instagram.
yeah, it's
yeah.
special, that video,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But I think it's very important for people to know who you are. Like,
Sure.
I say it all the time. Like my Instagram, my grid is all weddings and all the stuff that couples want to see for like marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my Instagram story, that's where you're gonna find out about me.
Yeah.
Like I'll post days out and I'll post. I'm not gonna post like what I'm eating or stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like, if we go away, I think it's important for people to know who we are.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Like we swear on our website.
Yeah. Why not?
We swear
Well,
on our
the
website.
last thing you want to do is rock up to a wedding, be a completely different person to who you actually are
Yeah.
anyway, and like withhold, because like I said to you, like swearing is part of my vocabulary. Like I would just.
Well, you're not selling. You wouldn't be your authentic self, and then
No.
you're
No.
trying to tell someone
You'll
to be
be
their authentic
betraying someone
themselves.
different.
And equally, that's fine. That'll put
Yeah.
the couples off, and that's fine because then they're not our couples,
Yeah,
and we probably wouldn't gel on the date anyway. Like what you said earlier, like you've got to make sure like that couple fits you
yeah,
as a brand. Otherwise, it's just never going to marry up. It's never going to be the wedding footage that you're
Yeah.
after because we're just not going to gel.
I think everyday people swear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyday people, they talk like that, and I think there is this stigma that wedding days are meant to be regal and
Yeah.
like proper and
For
stuff
sure.
like that. And but if you're not that way in life, what's one day you're gonna do?
Yeah.
So I always like I'll apologize. Like if I'm face to face doing like a wedding fair, I will swear still. Sorry, mum. But I'll apologize for swearing a lot, and they go, "Oh fuck it, we swear all the time."
Yeah. Exactly.
And then you're like, "Right, we're cool. We're gonna have a great day."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Right,
I
pull the
guess
pin out
that you've
there.
been in certain situations because obviously you've worked with like photographers like us, but obviously you've worked with a variety of
Yeah.
different photographers. It must be hard sometimes, especially if you don't like vibe or gel
Yeah.
with that other supplier that you're with for the whole day. That's a
Sometimes
really
it's hard.
difficult day.
I think sometimes the difficult part is getting along with the photographer, videographer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it all boils down to us. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at getting to know people quite quickly and knowing if we're going to have a good day or not.
Yeah.
But even if we're not the right people, I'll work well with you anyway, just because it's not about us, it's about the
Yeah.
couple. And that is the end of it.
Yeah.
You've got to deal with my eccentricities, I've got to deal with yours.
For sure.
And
I
that
think
is it.
think for couples looking at booking both photographers and videographers, I think it is really important that they really do ask like
Yeah.
who they recommend or if there's anyone that they work with, not just book, hey, we've booked a
Yeah.
videographer or hey, we've done that, because I promise it's probably worth that little bit extra money
Yeah.
to go with someone that works well as a team, that they've worked together before, they gel together, they're friends, or
Or at
they
least
know
do the
some-
Zoom call. Do the Zoom call with
Yeah.
both, because you're gonna get a idea of each other's personalities anyway. Like
Yeah,
if people have a Zoom call with you guys and you're swearing and you're
for
yourself,
sure.
they're gonna go, right, I know they're gonna get along with Joe.
Yeah.
So if we've never worked with each other before,
Yeah.
which we have, it's
It's fucking awful.
it's I know it's dreadful. I mean, the drones that you bring, man, it's
New one now. Fenton.
What was that again?
it was
night
fentanyl,
yard, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's the night yard, and my drone just like took off, and I lost signal, and was like, "Come back, Fenton!" It was like
that's-
that old meme.
I
wasn't
think
it?
that was the moment I knew that we were going to be friends. For a long time.
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
So, what's the craziest wedding you've been to and captured?
Well, I think this is going to be two different.
You do yours.
I'll do mine. Mine would have been Marley Brook House.
Love Marley Brook.
It's
That
crazy
fun
for a
fair,
different reason.
yeah.
Like it's crazy for a different reason. I class it as a crazy venue just because of that fun fair section
Yeah.
is wild. Like
Yeah.
there is so much going on there. There's so much colour that I went on pretty much every ride with my camera,
except
except from that spinny one.
I
I
really
got
wanted to go on
asked
the
to
spinny
go.
one.
I got asked to go on the waltzer with 2 photographers,
Yeah.
like, 2 different weddings, and I'm like, anything like that,
I don't
I
usually do it.
will go and throw up in
Yeah.
the woods.
Yeah.
And I will be a write-off for the rest of the day. I know I will. I've always been like it.
Yeah.
And the photographer that first went on, he went on, and it was the last ride of the night, and they spin you extra fast.
I know,
And
yeah.
it goes extra fast. He got off, didn't take a single photo, because how were you meant to focus?
I've actually got some photos of me doing it.
Well,
I've got a flash on, mate. Like, they're shit.
yeah. But then he got off, he went and threw up in the woods.
Oh.
Brilliant.
And all day he's like, I shouldn't have done that. Same with the second one. I'm like, this is why I'm not going to do it.
Did you go on that weird one that like throws you out and brings you back in, that triangle one? You know when you
No, I
first
think the
walk
only
in?
one that I've actually been on at Marley Brook is the roller coaster that goes
Okay.
into the woods.
Yeah.
And that was just to get a shot of the couple from behind. Yeah, one of the shots on the couple. It worked out really cool, but I think that's the only ride that I've actually been on.
Yeah.
But again, like you guys, I get so excitable. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
right,
almost
I need
sensory overload. You're like,
I need to
"Oh."
use this lens. I need to go handheld. I need to go gimbal. I need to go drone.
Yeah.
I need to get this. I need to do that.
But they haven't been there for a good amount of time though. Like it's not like. I mean, how long did they have in there? 2 hours.
2 hours.
Is that what it is?
The
Yeah.
food was great.
Yeah.
Food's good there. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just. Again, that's
Scott Anderson's food.
Yeah.
a
Just
crazy.
funfair
yeah.
food. It was like great. Every like 2 minutes, something
Yeah.
different was coming round. It's great.
Yeah, crazy for me for a different reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What's your one? What do you think?
Mine will be. It would have to be Longton Woods.
The 3-day.
It would be 3-day
That was with
Wedstock.
Alex, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
with Alex.
That looks so cool.
So we were booked for that wedding. So Ben, who is also a wedding photographer,
Yeah.
booked us from 5 photos I posted on the UK photographer group on Facebook before we had a website put up.
Yeah.
He literally just messaged me out of the blue and he was like, "Hey, like this is what we're doing. I love the all kind of like cinematic grade. Have you got a website or are you doing anything? Like I'd love to like speak to you guys to shoot our wedding." And I went, "Look, completely honest with you, don't even have a website yet, so couldn't even give you a price. Don't even know what that would be yet. But I'll keep you in the loop." So I actually sent him the unfinished website of what we were doing as we were doing it. He was like, "Yeah, great, cool. Oh, like I trust you guys. I'll use you." And then he asked, "Oh, like, have you got any like friends like who are videographers?" And at the time,
That's
at
fine.
the time we didn't know you, but we
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
Alex, and
Alex is cool, man. I love
Yeah.
Alex's work, and it is totally different to what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
absolutely not insulted at all.
Yeah.
And I've seen the video that he put out, and it is outstanding.
Yeah. And Alex, and we get on like house on fire anyway. Alex was a performer, I was a performer, so there was like
Yeah.
kind of like initial bond anyway. And I was like, "Look, he's the man for the job. Bit pricier, but go for him. You won't regret it." And then we get to the day before the wedding, so we turned up on the Friday just to kind of have a little walk around the venue and things like that. We had a WhatsApp group with them.
Yeah.
It was like so chilled. It was just a WhatsApp group of their day. It
Love
wasn't
that.
a case of really formal emails. It was really chilled. And then they were explaining the different stages of their day. And again, if you ever had them on, and I know they're only in Sittingbourne,
Okay.
you should maybe have them
I'd love
on.
to have them on, actually, because that was, I don't actually sit and look at too many wedding photos or wedding videos.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's just because of like a busyness thing. or
Yeah.
I'm watching them all the time. But I actually sat and looked at all the videos photos you guys put up and the videos that Alex
Yeah.
put up. So
And I won't go into like too much detail just in case you do end up having some of the supplies that were there on. But there was everything from fire breathers, an ever-changing bar that changed from morning through until evening, from cocktails to Jaeger bombs to cigars, and there was
Walking band.
there was a roaming band, super tenants were there, there was caricaturists, there was magician, there was tuk-tuks.
that's the way to do it.
Honestly,
It was a festival. It was a festival.
anything you could think of, it was there. We stayed for 2 days.
Yeah.
We camped.
Photographing the whole.
Yeah, but we ended up just partying with them. We
Yeah.
ended up just being mates.
That's
because
cool, man.
after
I wore my leopard print shorts.
you did, you,
I had house in leopard print shorts. And I
beautiful photos of Callum really hung over with a little princess tiara crown on.
slumped in the corner.
Yeah, I made the final footage for Alex's video.
Okay.
It's me dancing in the background.
And
with a
that's
chicken hat.
another
Chicken
thing.
hat.
So if you like, as we said it earlier, if you've made that impact,
Yeah,
like if we're filming and I feel like we've made a good enough impact with the couple, I know come dance floor I can film you, and you'll do something weird,
Yeah.
and it will go in.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, it was just one of those days where it was insane, and it hit around 9:30, and we were like, okay, that's like our time slot finish. We didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're not going home.
I think I was tipsy by that time anyway.
Yeah.
I started drinking at
They
like
kept
4.
on giving us like the tie buckets.
Yeah.
Again, we're people that obviously, yes, we don't obviously drink at every single wedding we go to. So
But Longton Woods is a bit different, isn't it? Because there's
Yeah.
no coordinator on site. There's
No,
no.
just do as you
It's a
please.
DIY wedding,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it is literally like you're rocked up to someone's back garden,
For sure.
and there's no formalities at
No.
all, is there? And it's totally different.
And
Do as you please.
As long as the couple are cool with it.
yeah, exactly. And Alex and I and you, we all worked around the clock. So in the morning, on the Sunday morning, so after the wedding, we actually did a private cinema viewing of some of the footage that we captured of
Yeah.
that wedding day.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
And that was
really,
such
really
a good touch because they let us stay, eat their food and drink. We were like, what can we give them? I know, let's try to conjure up 30 to 40 images so we can get everyone to view what about their day.
nice. So the projector
Yeah.
in the, what are they called? The bloody tent.
Yeah. The glamping pod things.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
But they had a projector on there. So Alex quickly whipped something up, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
he whipped a little like video up. We edited some photos,
Yeah.
and then everybody that stayed that night as well, we all sat down, had it on the projector, and
Yeah.
just watched it. Like, and it was,
Cool.
it
In
was
between
really nice, wasn't
drumming
it?
workshops, in between
Yeah.
us doing smoke flares and champagne sprays,
Murder mystery.
murder
Love that.
mystery. Yeah,
So-
yeah, that was a really.
There's a lot
really
of crazy
cool night.
weddings, but for their own.
But they've done
their-
it for themselves, haven't they? They've done
Yeah.
what they want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
100%.
like ask them about Bake Off.
Okay.
Ask them about Bake Off because that was great.
Well, if you guys get in touch with them,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will.
get them to shoot me a message.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to have them on. And
Yeah, yeah.
They're a good laugh.
Yeah.
You'll
They
have fun with them.
They own
guys.
Bramble and Bash, which is the bar. So they have a bar company as well.
Okay.
So they're also suppliers, but they
Yeah.
want to create Wedstock.
Yeah, we'll get them to get in
Yeah, yeah,
touch, and
well.
we'll push that because I love that. I love that idea.
Yeah, they're good fun. Good fun, definitely.
So, what would be your best tip for brides and grooms in their planning process at the minute for that, whether to get the best out of their wedding day or their planning process?
Planning.
Do what the fuck you like.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the amount of
That-
couples that we've had ask our opinion on, oh, like when should we be doing this, or like should we be doing this, or can we do that? And I'm like, it's your day. Do what you want. If you don't
Yeah.
want to do a big dramatic cake cut, don't do one. Don't,
Don't
even
do one.
have a
Yeah.
cake cut.
Yeah.
Don't even have a cake. If that's not what
If you don't want to
want,
waste that extra 15 minutes and you'd rather be
Yeah.
chilling out with your friends, don't
Yeah,
worry
to say it
about
all the time. Like people do these things because they're tradition.
Yeah.
yeah,
But we're in 2025 now.
Yeah.
Traditions either need to change or just get boosted a little bit. Do something
Yeah.
a little bit different.
yeah. We always say that if you don't want to have bridesmaids and you just want to have your friends, or you, like again at Ben and Lee's, they just had an I do crew. And
Yeah.
it was just a bunch of their friends. It wasn't like bridesmaids and groomsmen. It was just their friends.
Yeah.
They didn't have a conventional way of doing it, and it really worked. And that's because it worked because it was them.
Yeah.
So that's my main tip: is don't do things.
I'd give a tip of if you're looking like for this for like the planning. So if you're looking for a photographer, a big tip is asking to see a full gallery.
Full gallery.
Full gallery. I always think that's a must.
That weeds out the week, I think, because
Yeah.
let's be honest,
100%.
we only post our best work.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, of course. Everyone
And-
does.
And I do understand that everyone does have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we all had to start from somewhere. So I wouldn't necessarily have the mindset of the cheapest is going to be the worst.
No.
Sometimes it's not. I mean, we were very cheap when we started, and I don't think that we were the worst on the market with the price point that we were at. We were just trying to get ourselves out there. That is something to think about,
Yeah.
because sometimes the cheaper price points, you've just kind of got to think, well, why are they cheap? Or I had a couple
Don't
recently.
be afraid to ask why they're cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're good,
Yeah.
if they're nice people, they'll be open
Yeah.
to why.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I feel like I'm still undercutting myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still cheap compared to what I offer.
Sure. And again, it's imposter syndrome.
Yeah. But also, because I love the job, I love doing the job. I don't want to outprice myself because I like doing the numbers that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I like meeting the new people and I love doing the job. So I'll stay at this price for as long as I feel I need to stay at this price.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the other thing that happened only the other day, I was on a call with a bride that's now booked us. She was talking to me about someone else that she was inquiring with, and he just kept on bombarding her with discounts and saying, oh, if you book with me today, I'll give you £100 discount. And then
It's not the first time I've heard
a
that.
couple of days later, it was, hi, I'll give you a £200 discount. And then a week later, she didn't get back to him, and it was almost £1,000 that was knocked off. And to her, she said to me that was just an instant red flag.
Yeah.
Said, I know that he's worked at the venue multiple times and he's well respected, but to me that was just a red flag. Like, how can
But
you
if
do
you're
that?
it's the thing, if you're well respected and why are you still doing that?
Yeah. So that's my other kind of like, not like red flag kind of tip, but just
I think you've got to just trust your gut with stuff
Yeah,
like that
for
as well. Because I said on the last podcast, there's some people out there that are good liars.
Yeah.
And they're actual imposters. So you've just
Yeah.
got to trust your gut, do the research. There's Facebook sites for scammers, which
Yeah.
I have tagged in the last video. Just check out, ask other vendors as well. Like, ask the vendors that you've got booked.
Yeah, I think that's kind of
And
like a
not
big
to
thing.
be so and don't hold back on like the questions as well that you want to ask these
No,
suppliers
so
as well. No,
I
there's
would-
no stupid questions.
I always say to people, you can ask me as many questions as
Anything
you want
you
up
want,
until
yeah.
the wedding day.
There's not
Yeah.
a stupid question.
No.
There isn't a stupid question
No.
because they're not to know what.
Well,
like-
if you've never been married before
Exactly.
and you're not in the industry, if you're in the
Exactly.
industry and you ask a stupid question,
You're gonna
I'll-
get a
I'll
stupid
say
answer.
something.
And equally, if you are planning, and we've had it with quite a few of our couples, and I'm sure you probably do as well, I sometimes, me more than Callum, because obviously the admin
Admin,
is...
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's under
Yeah.
the umbrella of admin.
Yeah,
Driver, admin, chauffeur.
exactly.
When I'm talking to brides in particular, because again, it's normally the brides that are doing the majority.
It's their
so the
day.
themes,
It's
Yeah.
the day.
the themes,
It's their day.
I
Us men
normally...
do it to keep you happy.
Yeah.
And I know you love doing all that work. So you continue.
Like, we'll talk about the timeline of the day.
You're up for a fun drive.
Yeah. We'll talk about the timeline of the day, and I'll actually sometimes help couples
Yeah.
with their timelines and helping them. Like, I always say to couples, please message the photographer, because their opinion on when you should be having your ceremony might be slightly different
Yeah.
than what time you think. For example, the last couple, again, I spoke to her about it, and her ceremony was supposed to be at 2:30 at the end of November.
Yeah. Well, we had a late one in
Yeah.
November, didn't we?
Yeah. So
So
I said to her,
As soon as that ceremony's done, it's dark.
Exactly.
Sun
So,
goes down.
again, her day, do what she wants. But, I said, just letting you know that the lighting might not quite work out at that time if you want group photos, or, the light does tend to go at this time. She's like, oh, well, do you think we should change? And I went, hey, it's your day, but this is what I would propose.
If you want the best out of your photos and videos,
Exactly.
it's good to take that advice on.
Exactly.
Because then if you don't, and
Because as a couple...
you've lost that light and you've lost all the good stuff, you can't then be upset that the photos aren't.
Exactly. And your photographers and your videographers and any suppliers that are there for the whole day, not necessarily just past the day, but see
Yeah.
the whole day from morning to evening, I think the knowledge that we have gained through all of the weddings that we've captured are invaluable
Yeah.
to any couple that have any silly random questions about what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
Like, your opinion on table favours is probably a lot different to someone that's never worked at a wedding before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Not going to give a fuck about them.
No. that was one of my
Honestly.
unpopular opinions before. Is table favours are a waste of money because
Yeah.
it's just like a tub of sweet or something, and
Yeah.
they're gone before dinner's come out.
Yeah.
So.
But we're good for like that knowledge, and equally, like, we've given away secrets that have happened at other weddings, and
Yeah.
they've used them in future weddings. Like, we love the idea of, we had again one wedding where we did a photo rush,
Yeah.
and we loved that. 2 minutes, 2 songs, and it was anyone who was anyone could jump in a photo.
Yeah.
And then that was the only time that they could get a photo with the bride and groom.
We did
in
something
a
similar
full-
where the bride and groom was sat down, everyone ran around, and
Great.
there was someone in a dinosaur outfit. It was great.
Yeah, amazing. And we've told couples that, and then they've used that at their weddings.
Yeah.
Even couples that haven't booked us, and that's fine. Like, we love that. Like, it's not. Even if you don't book a vendor, it's okay to still ask them questions. We're all human.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree.
Well, where can people find you to get you booked in for their wedding day?
I'm just an Eastbourne,
Just
Charlotte and Suka.
In a ditch somewhere.
In a ditch. In a boom.
Do you even know our website name?
Of course I don't.
Well, we're gonna do Callum quiz night next podcast.
Yeah.
C&C Imagery.
Yeah. So
What
it's
does C&C stand for?
Oh, I'm not going to. That'll be bleeped out.
We'll
wouldn't
have to bleep that one.
it? Charlotte and Callum.
Yeah. So you can find us either on our website. We have Instagram. We are now doing TikTok.
Trying to push Pinterest as well.
Yeah,
That's on there.
Pinterest.
Just finding
That's
loads
a new
of random
thing.
little
Yeah.
bits.
Well, I know it's not a new thing, but I mean, I get that that's obviously
It's
where
changing
people-
every year, right? Like TikTok's becoming like the new thing as well.
Yeah, we went viral on Instagram.
I saw.
I know, nearly
Pissed me
2
right off.
2 million, and then we've got one nearly sat at 1 million.
Yeah, well, I'm 17,000 is my best.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Take it. It was sort of because there was a giraffe in it as well.
But it was the most silliest thing.
It
Silliest
worked
thing.
though, didn't it?
It worked,
It worked.
yeah.
It was great little tips for people. So.
Yeah. So we'll keep on doing that kind of thing.
But yeah, mainly Instagram and our website.
Yeah, we don't really use Facebook anymore because I mean,
No, I don't too much.
No.
But
I find
I keep it
bloody
active.
complicated to
I
work
keep it
with.
active because I do still get some work off the back of it. So.
yeah, same, but don't really use it.
No.
But yeah, it's normally social media or a website, really.
Yeah, so C&C Imagery.
Thanks,
Good
man.
lad. Well, it's been great catching up with you guys. But before we end, who would you like to see on the show in the future?
I'm going to say Touch of Kent.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Sam and Katie, it's actually
Touch of
Ken,
Ken.
that'd be great.
good
Alex,
fun.
if he's ever free.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Alex was due to come on, but
Yeah,
he bailed.
yeah.
I'm
of
joking.
course.
Yeah.
Boo.
He did have daddy
But
duties, so
Ben,
he
ben,
will come
Ben
on.
and Lee from
Yeah.
their wedding day and speak about Wedstock, that'd be amazing. And the other thing that I'd really love to see is someone that really pumps money into their business,
Yes.
as in advertising, and suppliers that really use that power of Meta
Yeah.
and the data.
I want to see if
And,
it actually works.
yeah, and if it
Not,
actually works.
clearly it does work.
Well,
but
it might not work.
Yeah. Well, it'd be
Well, it does,
be
but
good
it'd
to
be
see
good
like
to-
someone who actually does it for a living.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And someone who just does it for their business. Because
Yeah.
obviously I have done paid ads for certain things in the past, but I don't think it was anything that would have ended up getting leads.
Yeah, or like talking about SEOs
Yeah.
and talking about search engines and the behind the scenes stuff, which really makes the businesses go.
Yeah.
just so it can help me out with my admin that I do a lot of.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. You pass that on to the boss.
Yeah.
Well, it
I'll
was
be
great.
there on Flight Simulator. Like, how's it going, Sean?
You'll drive me home and make me food later.
There you
It's
go.
going in the bloody microwave and
Okay.
press a couple of buttons and it'll be done.
It seems like a good ending point. But it was great catching up with you guys, and hopefully people reach out with you after.
Yeah.
Hopefully, well, thank you for having us.